here in the section we have parallel and perpendicular lines. On the left side, what we have is 4 parallel lines. What this means, we have same slopes. So for all of these 3 lines that we have here, we have same slope. And what we have here on the right side, this is for perpendicular lines. So on this part we have these 2 lines, these 2 straight lines. And so it says lines that meet at the 90-degree angle called the right angle. So here we have right angle, and their slopes must be opposite in sign and reciprocals in order to meet at 90-degree angle. For example, here we have y equal to 3 times x plus 4. So slope is positive 3. And here we have y equal to negative 1 over 3 times x plus 2/3. And in this case, our slope is negative 1 over 3. So it's opposite sign and it's reciprocal. So if I use M1 slope for the first equation and M2 slope for second equation, multiply these two, that should be equal to -1. That means we have perpendicular lines of 3 times -1 over 3, that is equal to -1. Example, find the slope of a line that is perpendicular to the line with the given slope. So our slope is -5 over 6. So if we have this one as M1, M2 will be opposite and reciprocal, so that is negative times negative is positive, and we have reciprocal, so it's 6 over 5. Number 2, our slope is 1 over 3, so that's 1 and 1. For second line, our slope will be opposite and reciprocal, so it's negative times the reciprocal of what we have here. So that is 1 over 3, we're going to have 3 over 1 or 3. So it's same, negative 3 over 1 or negative 3. Number 3, our slope is -7, so that's 1 and 1. And 2 is equal to negative times what we have here, so we're going to have positive, and reciprocal of 7 is 1 over 7. So slope is 1 over 7. So how we can say that if we have parallel perpendicular lines or neither of these? We should use slope and compare their slopes. It's better to use this form, slope-intercept form. For example, here we have 3 times x, and here is 3 times x, so we have same slope, meaning that these 2 lines, the first and second, having same slope, so we have parallel lines. And comparing these two, so the second line we have slope is 3, the third line slope is -1 over 3. If we multiply these 2 slopes, we're going to have that equal to -1. So 3 times -1 over 3 is equal to -1. Because of that, we know that we have perpendicular lines. And finally, comparing, for example, these two, number 3 and number 4, here our slope is -1 over 3, but here is 1 over 2. We do not have same slope, and if we multiply these 2 slopes, that is not equal to -1. So we don't have parallel, we don't have perpendicular lines, so it's neither of these. Are the lines parallel, perpendicular, or neither? What is given y is equal to -2 over 5 times x minus 4 over 5, and the other line that we have here is 10 times x minus 4 times y equal to 12. So I'm rewriting what we have for the first one and finding what is slope. So what we have here for the first line, negative 2 over 5 times x. The coefficient of x is negative 2 over 5, so that is our slope. I used m1 for the first line. And second line, 10x minus 4y equal to 12. We have to isolate y because I want to write this line in the form of a slope-intercept form. So subtract 10x from both sides. We have negative 4y equal to negative 10x plus 12. Isolate y, we have to divide all of these three terms, all of these divided by negative 4. So y is equal to negative 10x divided by negative 4 plus 12 divided by negative 4. And here on the left, I divided negative 4, y divided by negative 4. So I cancel negative 4. So what's left on this part is y. Then simplify. So negative 10 divided by negative 4 is 5 over 2. And positive 12 divided by negative 4 is negative 3. So our second line in slope-intercept form is y equal to 5 over 2 times x minus 3. Based on this, coefficient of x is, this number is 5 over 2, so our slope for second line is 5 over 2. If we multiply these two numbers, what we have for m1 and what we have for m2, so m1 times m2, we have negative 2 over 5 times 5 over 2. This is equal to negative 1. This means we have perpendicular lines. Now here we have y equal to 1 over 3 times x plus 1. Our slope, I'm using m1, that is equal to 1 over 3. What we have for coefficient of x, it's 1 over 3. And then find the slope for second line. So here we have 2x minus 6y equal to 9. We have to isolate y. So subtract 2x from both sides. Here we have negative 6y equal to negative 2x plus 9. Divide all of these three terms by negative 6. So we have y equal to negative 2x divided by negative 6 plus 9 over negative 6. So simplify, y is equal to 1 over 3 times x minus 3 over 2. Our slope, I'm using m2 for second line, that is equal to 1 over 3. So comparing m1 and m2, we have same answer. So it is same slope, 1 over 3. This means we have parallel lines. Number 6, y equal to 7 times x minus 5 and x minus 7y equal to 5. So in this part, y equal to 7 times x minus 5. Coefficient of x is positive 7, so that is our slope for the first line. For the second line, we have x minus 7y equal to 5. Isolate y. So subtract x from both sides. We're going to have negative 7, y equal to negative x plus 5. And then divide by negative 7. So all of these three terms divide by negative 7. We have negative 7y divided by negative 7, so that is positive y equal to negative 1 divided by negative 7, so that is positive 1 over 7 times x. Positive 5 divided by negative 7, so that is negative 5 over 7. What we have for the second line, coefficient of x is, this number is 1 over 7. Comparing these two slopes, one is 7, the other one is 1 over 7. So it is reciprocal, but it is not opposite. We do not have negative sign for these two. So I should have either this one negative or this one negative to have perpendicular lines. And we do not have same slope. So we do not have same slope. And if we multiply these two, that is equal to positive 1. This should be negative to have perpendicular. So this means it's not parallel and it's not perpendicular lines. So the answer for this part is neither. Find the equation of the line parallel to x-axis through -1, +5. So here it says parallel to x-axis. That means our slope is equal to 0 because it's parallel to the x-axis. So slope is 0, and I now find our equations. I'm using y minus y1 equal to m times x minus x1, and based on what is given here on this part, x1 is -1 and y1 is +5. So y minus y1 equal to our slope is 0 times x minus x1 is -1. So here we have 0 times. So what we have on right side, that part will be 0, but I'm writing all steps. So we have y minus 5 equal to 0 times x plus 1. So it's y minus 5 equal to 0. That means what we have here is y equal to 5. So here is our equation. Number 2, find equation of the line perpendicular to x-axis through this point 5, -7. So what we had in number 1 was parallel to x-axis. So that means our slope was 0. But here is perpendicular to x-axis. And in this case, our slope will be undefined. Because of having undefined slope, we have to use this point that is given. And based on this, our answer is what we have for x, and x is +5. So whenever we had undefined slope, we have to use what is given for x. So x is equal to 5. Find equation of the line perpendicular to x plus 4y equal to 8 through this point 3, -5. So first I'm going to isolate y. So isolate y is equal to -1/4 times x plus 2. What we have here on this part, our slope is -1/4. I used n1 for this line, and then here it says find equation of line perpendicular to what is given. So perpendicular to this one, that means m2, the slope for second line, it's opposite of what we have here, and use reciprocal. So it's negative times negative is positive, and reciprocal of 1/4 is +4. So slope of second line is +4, and then finding our equation, y minus y1 is -5 equal to our slope for what we have here for second line is +4 times x minus x1, which is this number. So we have y plus 5 equal to 4 times x minus 12. Subtract 5 from both sides. Y is equal to +4 times x, -12, minus 5, we have -17. So this is our equation, y equal to 4x minus 17. Find equation of line perpendicular to 2x minus y equal to -1 through -3, +1. So what is given to x minus y equal to -1, isolate y and write this one in the slope-intercept form. So subtract 2x from both sides. We have -y equal to -2x minus 1. Divide by -1. Y is equal to 2x plus 1. So our slope for the first line is what we have here. It's coefficient of x, so that is +2. And here it's asking for perpendicular line. If it was parallel line, we're gonna have, for second line, we're gonna have same slope. So m1 +2, m2 +2. But here in this case it's perpendicular, so slope of second line is equal to -1/2. Now finding our equation, y minus y1 which is what we have here. It's positive 1 equal to slope times x minus x1 is negative 3. So we have y minus 1 equal to negative 1 over 2 times x plus 3. I'm writing all steps. So y minus 1 equal to negative 1 over 2. Use distributive property, negative 1 over 2 times x. Negative 1 over 2 times positive 3. Isolate y. So add 1 to both sides. Y is equal to negative 1 over 2 times x minus 3 over 2 plus 1. So y is equal to negative 1 over 2 times x. Here we have negative 3 over 2 plus 1. So that is negative 3 plus 2. So that is negative 1 over 2. So here we have negative 1 over 2. And this is our equation. Now next page, I summarize all that we had. So equation of lines. What if we don't know the y-intercept? So having 2 points, x1, y1, and x2, y2, first we have to find slope. And slope is equal to change in y divided by change in x, or rise over run. So here on right side, finding slope, we have these 2 points, 1, 1, and 3, 0. So let's have this one x1, y1, and this one x2, y2. So our slope is equal to y2, which is 0, minus y1 is 1, x2 is 3, x1 is 1. So here we have negative 1 over 2. That is our slope for this line. And we have negative slope. We used a point slope form. And then we isolate y to find slope intercept. So this is point slope, y minus y1 equal to m times x minus x1. Then move this y1 to right side. So y is equal to m times x minus x1 plus y1. But what we did in our examples, we first used distributive property, we multiplied, and then we move this y1 to right side. So find equation of line using point slope. We have to use the given point x1, y1, and slope. For m, plug the values into point slope equation, exactly what we did on top. Simplify the equation into the form requested. So we do use distributive property, and we isolate y to have slope intercept, which is y equal to m times x plus b. And this is standard form. It's a times x plus by equal to c. So we had this one given for some of the equations, and we isolate y to have slope intercept form. So this one that we have here is slope intercept. We use this method when we are given a slope and a point that is not the y-intercept. Now what we have here on the right side, so based on the point that we have and what our slope is, find the equation of line with slope. So in this case, the slope is 2 over 5, passing through the point 10, negative 2. So using point slope form, y minus y1, we have negative 2 equal to our slope is given as 2 over 5 times x minus x1, which is that point based on this point, and that is positive 10. So x minus 10. So this means we have y plus 2 equal to 2 over 5 times x minus 10. So this is point slope form.